Kia ora, welcome to Cowells Stadium. We've changed venues since the weekend. It is the game 2 of the development series between New Zealand Development and the Australia Miners. My name is Bevin Jenkinson of Bev's Broadcasting. Huge thanks to RGP TV for lending us a camera that Elroy's going to do for the second match here. And Jamie and Natasha, the referees for this, is tip off. Waiting to see who ends up with it. It's Hayden Dowles for New Zealand. Gets around Tweedy. Some nice chair movement there. And first try of the match goes the way of New Zealand Development. Tweedy finds Lambert, also there with Damien Morto and Connor Blackwood. As Kenan Alexander gets his hands in the way and is out of court. We'll wait and see. It is going to be with the Australia Miners. For New Zealand Development, you've got Dylan Lloyd, Mitch Simpson, Hayden Delves, and Kenan Alexander. Tweedy finding Blackwood. He's had a pretty good week here in Otatahi, Christchurch, and scores his first of this match. Lloyd finding Alexander. Good hit on him from Blackwood. Nice ball down to Hayden Delves. And Delves uses his chair to help himself to the second. 2-1. As Lambert give and go with Morto. Nice ball down to Cooper Blackwood. This Australian team who finished second at New Zealand Nationals to eventual winners Canterbury Chargers showed pretty good work. 2-2. Hayden Dowles pushing hard, played for Bay of Plenty in Division 2. And puts the New Zealand Development side back in front as Robin Lambert calls for a timeout, for equipment timeout, sorry. Pleasure to have you wherever you're tuned in, folks. If you've got any thoughts, comments, questions, pop them in the chat. More readily available to see those thanks to Elroy. The New Zealand side setting up at the key. It's conserving a bit of energy. Tweedy starts to go in front of Blackwood. Now he peels off to the left, Tweedy. And penalty try. Legal player out of court. Just told you nothing about that. Just look at the scoreboard. Completely forgot about that. Mitch Simpson on court. Finding Lloyd. Alexander on top of the hands. Tweedy with a turnover. And puts Australia in front with his first try. Alexander using that right wing of his, gets good contact with Tweedy, almost loses that out the back. Gives it off to Hayden Delves. 20 left on the try clock. Now charging through, trying to get through Tweedy. Nice hands there by Alexander. Back to Delves. And great work from the New Zealand Development side, 4 apiece. Tweedy finding Blackwood, no issue there. He pushes off Lloyd, ball down to Lambert. Robin Lambert scores her first try of the match. In her new chair, picked it up in June, end of June. Alexander has the ball ripped out of his hands and will stay with New Zealand Development. Remind you can watch these games back often as you like. They'll also be uploaded to Bev's Broadcasting YouTube channel. Just search Bev's Broadcasting on YouTube. As Lloyd being pressed hard Ball is loose. Delph picks it up over half. Got some good play. And a little bit of fortune going the way of the New Zealand development side. Tweedy calling for the inbound, finds Blackwood, who finds Delves in his way. Loose ball picked up by Tweedy. He's going to toss it down to Lambert, who loses it. And Hayden Delves with the first turnover for the New Zealand side. Call coming in from Mitch Simpson, time to reset. 30 seconds left on the try clock, a lot of time in wheelchair rugby. As Delves goes through, no try. Bit of pressure there from Damien Morto. He's played 50 games for the Queensland Cyclones. Also debuted for the Australian Steelers in Adelaide. As Lambert takes it on halfway. Back to Blackwood. So extends that, well, doesn't extend the margin, but extends it out. There's another turnover here for the Miners. Chance for them to gain a 2-point advantage, just under 5 to play first period. Blackwood winding up, Morto doing some great work on defence, and Blackwood squeezes through for his third. (7-5). There's Alexander up high, down high, and he loose ball here from Delves. And Blackwood will just watch it roll out over the baseline and will be with Australian Steelers. Miners, sorry, not the Steelers. Running some changes there. Number 23, Ty Martin Page. And I think in jersey number 30, Peter Campbell Rogers, who actually took a tumble earlier today. Excuse me. There's a timeout called by New Zealand, 8-5. The Steelers lead, 4:19 to play. Yeah, Peter Campbell Rogers took a tumble as we were having lunch, turned around, we heard a bit of a noise, turned around and he was flat on his side. Good to see him though that he's up and okay. As they said, must have been the wind that blew him over. Definitely had a few people falling over. Excuse me, in the game, in the first game today, which the Australian Miners took out 70-41. There's another one more event left on the New Zealand domestic schedule. New Zealand Low Point Nationals in Te Awamutu Event Centre, 11th and 12th of October, a week before I start my cricket season actually. Yet to be decided, we'll be attending it, but yet to be decided whether I'll be streaming it or not. Delves coming up at the top of the basketball key. Now he's moving around, trying to get rid of Campbell Rogers. A great try to Alexander, his second. Some good teamwork there. By Martin Page on the court. There's Delves trying to push Lambert out. Can't. Good ball down to Campbell Rogers. Blackwood. The three-pointer wins the drag race against the two-pointer. Lloyd from Dunedin, proud hard Highlanders supporter, as well as playing for the Otago Wheelanders. As Blackwood just holds up Alexander on the line. Gets out of the key. Low ball there to Dowd, but it's turnover from Lambert, who's second of this game. As Martin Page gets checked by Dowd, gives it to Blackwood. Blackwood trying to push off. Campbell Rogers does. But annoying when your own teammate gets in your way. 15 to play on the shot clock. Count coming in from the Aussies. Lloyd making sure left corner's no option. As Delves gets in there, can't dislodge. Away to tie Martin Page. And there's a 4 in the key being called against Mitch Simpson. Go the plan of it. He'll sit there for 30 seconds of game time or a Australian minors try. Used to be a minute or a try, but now it's 30 seconds. There's Blackwood has a puncture repair, or a tyre replacement I should say. Blackwood scored. Gets over for his 6th. Lloyd, who helps run the New Zealand wheelchair rugby social medias pages, is out of court. Some good pressure up high from the Miners, just forcing some turnovers. It's 10-6, Courtney. That's what the scoreboard here is showing. As Blackwood tries that left corner, can't. Alexander there to mark. Robin Lambert goes in. Blackwood goes the other way though. And Martin Page holds up a hole. It makes it 11-6. .225 to play first period. Alexander with ball. Couple of big contacts on him. Down to Delves. Delves that takes it behind him. And scores the New Zealand development 7th, sorry. There with Blackwood. Debuted in Japan with the Australian Steelers, the Australian top team. Earlier this year, at the start of this year in Japan. Showing he's got the goods to go even with a few more of those. There's Lloyd cops the Falcon. And Lambert scores the Australian 13th try. Lloyd going to use a bit of the baseline there to Alexander. Good grab from him. Gets away from Campbell Rogers. chase going on with Lambert. Blackwood there, delves with the try right in front of us. Good teamwork there being shown. 13-8, minute 40 left. Blackwood trying to spot the hole through Dylan Lloyd, and does. Mitchell Simpson plays the Canterbury Chargers. Managed to get a couple of sleeves off Chuck Aoki from the USA. That was here at Nationals. 12-second violation. New Zealand Development just again struggling to get over halfway in those 12 seconds. As they bring a couple of changes, Dylan Lloyd and Mitch Simpson coming off for Anthony Carter and Nathaniel Tairi. And Ty Martin Page and Peter Campbell-Rogers coming off for Cameron Vales and Connor Tweedy, sorry. Blackwood winding up, goes up and down, or does he go down? He's stuck at the moment. There to Wales, back to Tweedy. "11 seconds on the try clock." You might be able to hear the Aussies. Ball there to Lambert. And a good try there. 15-8. 39 seconds left. In the first period, Alexander over halfway. Pop ball, delves with nice hands. It's 15-9 as we into the last 24 seconds. Lambert ball down to Blackwood giving chase, does well over halfway. Can't find a way on the left-hand side. And Tweedy scores 16-9 as we're into the last 10 seconds of the first period. New Zealand Development pulling a timeout so we can propel the ball into the front court. Seconds on the try clock. Delves pushing. 4, 3, ball there to 2. Ants Carter and a .5 drops it. Didn't play in the Nationals due to family commitments. 1.7 seconds left on the clock. New Zealand, funnily enough, going all the way back to the key. Lambert gives it a few pushes, but that is the end of the first period. Australian Development to Australian Miners 16, leading New Zealand Development 9. Hoki Mayono, welcome back. Second period, it's Australian Miners 16, leading New Zealand Development 9. Bevin Jenkinson at Bev's broadcasting alongside RJP TV on, no try. First turnover of the second period goes the way of the New Zealand Development side. Yes, big thanks to RGP TV who supplied the camera for Sunday and today. Without them, the live stream wouldn't happen. Big pinch there at the front from Rhiannon Billette. And that turnover gets cancelled. 17-9. Good collision as Blackwood goes over sideways. What an interesting way to fall over that time. Reminder there'll be highlights and bloopers from Nationals and these two matches posted to the Facebook page you're watching this on currently. Do apologise that my scoreboard's just frozen a little bit. As Blackwood put into the key for a holding foul. Hands on wheel stuff from the Miners that don't want a second player in the bin, although this one's tossed out from Alexander. And it is going to be Miners' ball. Well, it's a little bit of a soft grab there. I do apologise that my scoreboard is completely gone on me, so I might have to get that up in the second half if I can. As Lambert heads it up on halfway, is just wasting time here. So that Connor Blackwood is back on court after his 30-second penalty. Ball is loose, Delves with a turnover. And another turnover again to the Aussies. This New Zealand development sides had two turnovers that both have been cancelled by the Australians turning the ball over themselves. And Blackwood scores on the left corner, makes it 18-9. And 12-second violation. Things have just got a bit array here for the New Zealand development side at the start of the second period. I know those colours on the scoreboard aren't exact, sorry folks, but I'll just have to leave it there for a moment. Blackwood pops it over to Lambert, and she makes it 19-9. Alexander checked by a couple of Australian players. Lambert goes up and down, there to Delves. Delves scores 19-10. Blackwood caught up high, Rhiannon Billette on the baseline. Blackwood down to Lambert and out of court. That's what I was trying to tell you. As a couple of substitutions coming on for the New Zealand development side on court. Delves, Lloyd, Mihaka and Roach. And for the Australian Miners, Morto, Martin Page, Blackwood and Albie Everett. Swimmer, as well as a triathlete, Albie Everett from Closely Sunshine Coast Spinners, as Delves adds New Zealand's 11th. Blackwood pushing around Mihaka. Roach can't stop him. Big up and down goes Everett, and is no try. Mihaka out of court there. So he'll go to the penalty box. Actually, I must say, Elroy, even though you kind of got fooled by the camera there, I was telling you about how Sky make mistakes from time to time. There was that try the All Blacks scored against France, where instead of going wide like everyone thought, including the cameraman, they went short down the blind. Like very recent, like I think it was even the third test. There's Blackwood just waiting for the defence to set up on Mihaka, and Mihaka will call the inbound. Mihaka using the length of the baseline. Good ball there to Delves in the foot race with Blackwood, but Delves wins another one between those two. 20 points to 12, 4:48 left, second period. Ball there from Morto to Blackwood. Blackwood wins that battle against Delves this time. 21-12. Delves fighting, comes down his left wing. Now comes more centre court. Blackwood round Everett. The 3-5 against the 3 wins that one. If you're new to wheelchair rugby, the higher the point classification, between 0.5 and 3.5, the more function a player has. Your 0.5s to your 1.5s are more your defenders. Your higher pointers are your attacking players. Great grab from Everett. As Huda's gone. Mihaka caught. Delves tied up by Blackwood. And Martin Page, as Lloyd will score his first of this game, his third this week, third today. 22-14. 3:47 left. Blackwood moving through. Good afternoon to you, Brad Dovely. I was actually wondering where you've been all weekend. I was waiting for you to comment or something. I wasn't thinking you weren't watching, Brad, but no, great to have you, mate. The Australian Steelers head coach. As Mihaka hassled by Blackwood, and Blackwood turns it over. Down to Martin Page. And the Richmond Tigers AFL supporter scores 24-14. There's Everett coming off the court. Lloyd looking for Mihaka has ball down to nobody. And an 8-second violation. Another turnover here for the Australians. Some substitutions as Mitchell Simpson, Anthony Carter and Michael Barry come on court. Blackwood at the top of the basketball key. Winding up. And scores another one to his massive total this weekend. Carter finds Mitch Simpson. 0.5 to 0.5, back to the 0.5. Down to Michael Barry, got to get it over half. Manages just to get over half in time there. Barry moving through, can't. Good check on him from Tweedy. Ball there to Ants Carter, he spins around the wrong way. Now there to Barry. Three seconds left on the try clock. And with just 1.5 seconds, Dylan Lloyd scores his second of the match. There with Tweedy. Tweedy long ball down. Is it going to sit with Barry? No, well, it almost does. And then lands in the lap of Cooper Blackwood. Try scoring machine that he is. There with Lloyd fighting a bit off the Aussies. I think Anthony Carter's tires punctured. There with Barry. Barry pushed out. Yes, he is. Some great defence coming in from Tweedy and Caleb Crowden, who's on court. Ball out of court, but this time back the turnover goes the way of New Zealand. I say Matt Vernick there and doing the penalty box for us in this match. First time we got to meet Matt Vernick was today, but we'd been in contact previously. Next September up in Auckland at the Auckland Tennis Centre in Tamaki Makaurau, the World 3x3 Deaf Champs happening. As Barry gets round. Good check on him by Landbird. Dylan Lloyd goes through and scores his third of the game. 26-16. Much better performance here by the New Zealand development side. Learned by doing this one. Oh, it's just been in the hands of Everett. Barry winding up at the top of the basketball key, trying to crash through, spotting a bit of a hold, doesn't. There to Mitch Simpson. Mitch Simpson scores his second of the day, the 0.5, 26-17. 1:22 on the clock in the second period. As Albie Everett manages to hang on. A bit of a juggle there. Back with Barry. Barry fighting, gives it off to Ents Carter. And for the second time in this period, the 12-second violation called. Such a different game last year and beyond when you could use one of your 4 30-second timeouts to your advantage like that. One of the very few sports where you can call a timeout as the ball is live. I believe water polo is one of the other sports. Can't do any more so in wheelchair rugby. Tweedy straightens up on that right corner. First try for Australia in a while. No, it's not. First try I've given to Australia in a while, sorry. 28-17. 45 seconds left. Grabbed there by Everett. On the length of it, on the end of his wingspan. And it's 29-17. Barry has it, 35 seconds on the left on the game clock. Everett trying to fight hard. Anthony Carter on that right side trying to push Everett out of court. Can't. Ball there, Lloyd. Tweedy gets his hand in the way. Lambert chasing. And illegal use of hands, penalty try. The way of the Australians. I think it might be the second penalty try for the Miners. There with Lloyd. 5 seconds left in the half. Lifts it down, finds Lambert. Is it going to get there? No, she won't. That is half time. The Australian Miners 30, leading New Zealand Development 17. We'll be back in 5. Welcome back, third period action. Delves on court, crashes through Blackwood and scores. It's off the score of the court for a bit in that second period. 30-18, Bevin, Jenkinson, our Bears broadcasting, got Elroy behind camera. Big thanks to RGP TV, whose camera Elroy is using. A little bit more money than I've got. Big thanks to their help. Yes, right on the line. And Jet Johnson scores his first try of the game. A bit of help from his opponent, 31-18. Delves works off the pick of Johnson. On court for New Zealand Development, Hayden Delves, Mitch Simpson, Levo Mihaka, and Sam Fitness. For the Australian Miners, Cameron Blackwood, who's about to score another. Ted Johnson, Robin Lambert, and Damien Morto. Give and go between, well, I was going to say the give and go between Fitness. Good turnover. Morto, second time he's managed to get a turnover for his team in this game. And penalty try, illegal use of hands. as Mitch Simpson calls for the inbound. Used to play for the mighty Waikato Stampede. Now plies his trade down in Christchurch here. Good to meet his dad the other day. He's up in the stands here. It's Mihaka fighting. Ball down. It's only Sam Fitness, the .5. Robin Lambert will pick it up and turn things back over. Australia's pressure up high, just forcing turnover after turnover for the New Zealand side. 34-20, sorry. Here's Mihaka. Score another. Actually got that score 33-20. 33-21 it is now. It's Lambert fighting off Mihaka. Mihaka stops it for the moment, there with Blackwood. Tries to go on that this left corner, and does no problem. 34-21. Good to have you tuned in, Emily Robertson, also part of the Otago squad over the weekend. Actually, Elroy, we were talking about the only non-tier 1 team to beat the All Blacks, which is Zimbabwe, or was Rhodesia back in 1949. I have another sports quiz question for you that you'll not believe. As Blackwood squeezes in on that corner again. Don't answer just yet, but what is the highest score in a game? What is the recognised highest score in a game of football, a game of soccer? 35-21. As Delves picks it up just short of the line and squeezes over.
Do you still want me to answer it?
No, still have a think about it before you answer.
Australia and Namibia.
No. So you're thinking of Australia versus American Samoa that ended in 31-0?
No, I thought the 145 nil.
Oh no, sorry. That was it. No, I was talking about rugby, football. Soccer. Yeah.
Oh.
There with Blackwood.
World Cup.
No, club game. Jed Johnson scores his second of the period.
Sorry, is it
36-22.
Is it like international or is it?
No, it was a club game.
Club game.
Focus on this and come back to me later. As Delves pulls in New Zealand's 23rd. (36-23). Good to have you tuned in, Marie. Supporting Sam Fitness, I'm imagining. There's another try there from Blackwood. (37-23). There's loose ball down. Lambert's going to turn it over though. Score her second of this period, 38-23. Mihaka will find Sam Fitness. Drops the ball down to Mihaka, who runs over the top of it, but cleaned up by him. Does well to turn off the baseline. Down to Hayden Delves. And a 12-second violation. Yes, if you hadn't thought about what the score could be, this is a score recognised by the Guinness Book of Records.
44 nil.
Not even close.
Like more or less?
Far more.
Okay.
And there's a story to it as well, of course.
I'm guessing
There has to be a story to a score like this. There's Ty Martin Page on court.
73 nil.
No, you'll never get it.
Is that high or low?
As Martin Page with it now, fighting with Delves, and an illegal use of hands being called. So the Guinness World Book of Records largest score in a game of football or soccer, whatever you want to call it, 139-0. Two clubs going against each other in Madagascar. No, as I said, there's more to this.
Yeah.
Blackwood. One player advantages Delves in the bin for the illegal use of hands. Blackwood fighting off Alexander. New Zealand don't want to have another player in the bin. And Blackwood scores the minus 39th. They were all own goals. Delves, quick ball there to Lloyd. Back to Delves, a give and go. Gotta love that bit of wheelchair rugby with the mid-pointer. Ball down. And it's going to be turned over there by Peter Campbell-Rogers. And Robin Lambert finishes it off. 40-23. 4 minutes exactly to play. Third period. Pops it down, Lloyd giving chase. It bounces up nicely for him. Scores New Zealand's 24th. Because these games are about development, giving players a bit more exposure than just at regional level. Score not overly matters, to be honest. It's about developing players, bringing them up higher. Part of the team talk with the jersey presentation last night at the hotel as Lambert scores. As Mitchell Simpson's tyres popped, it was popped by itself.
So yeah, what happened?
Yeah, so 139-0. All 139 goals were own goals. What it was the team that lost, even though they scored goals, were protesting the referee the week before. So it's completely deliberate. It's completely.
I thought it had to do with like gambling or something.
Well, same.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I love that statistic, and I was like, do I ask you another rugby one? But I was like, you probably never even heard of Simon Culhane, have you? You ever heard of Simon Culhane? I'll get back to you. Lloyd there to Alexander. Alexander pops it down. Mitch Simpson having to come across and pick it up. Does well right on the wheel there. Gets tapped by Blackwood and Lambert. Alexander there trying to cut off the corner. And it's an 8-second no bounce violation. Something had to give in there. At some point, another turnover for the Miners, because they've been, on the other side of things, what I was saying about the New Zealand development side, these guys have been playing together for a while. There's actually quite a number of Australian Steelers playing in this development side that have only played a couple of games. As I said, they've played at Nationals as a team. Nothing beats something like match experience. On the try clock, corner there by Peter Campbell-Rogers. And Blackwood just chalks up another. Alexander tosses it down to Mitch Simpson. And Mitch Simpson scores his third for the 0.5 player. 42-25. Starting to show the New Zealand development side more games they play together. Because a couple have been teammates during the weekend, but completely different when you add a couple of other players in. Blackwood crashes through. I'm sure we'll see him more in the green and gold as the Miners coach. Jason Lee's a former Australian Steelers player himself for a number of years. Jason Lee's calling a team timeout. Sarah Barry, glad you're tuning in, but from Uzbekistan this time. She was tuning in over the weekend from Kyrgyzstan. She's the mother of Michael Barry, who is on court in jersey number 24. She lives in New Zealand, but apparently the story was she wanted to go around and visit the stands in the country, in the world, sorry. So, hey, why not? You get something like that on the live stream, you've got to make mention of it as Simpson's inbound touches Alexander, but only in the favour of the Australian Miners. Tweedy working hard, and dummies and gets through, no problem. For the Miners, you've got Tweedy, Blackwood, Cameron Wales, and Caleb Crowden on as this ball's down and off the front of Michael Barry's chair. The New Zealand development, you've got Alexander, Michael Barry, Tairi, and Mitch Simpson as Tweedy going through scores. There to Alexander, but he's tied up. Give and go with Mitch Simpson. Simpson looking for Barry, ends up in Alexander's hands, but he's had to toss it down court. And Blackwood tidies it up. As Blackwood goes over. So Simon Colhane, who was first five for Southland, this is in the mid-90s, played a few All Black tests. Still holds the most points from one player in a game, 42. Have a guess what game that was? No, they're 145-17 against Japan. He scored 42 points in that game. As Alexander, I'll come back to that. I don't stick with just the straight stuff. Loose ball picked up by Barry, fighting with Blackwood, and Blackwood gets the turnover through a held ball. Believe it or not, also the most points by a player in a test match on debut.
No.
On debut.
It is.
42 points he scored in that game against Japan. Nobody scored more than that in an international test match or on debut. And of course there's that story about Mark Ellis, who scored 6 tries in that game. You'd have heard of Mark Ellis though? Yep.
Yes.
I was going to say you are a bit more on the younger side, as Blackwood scores another 46-25.
Okay, I've got a question now.
Yep.
Who do you think has scored the most tries on debut?
Oh, good try, go through.
For an All Black.
Jeff Olsen, 4 tries against Scotland, I think it was.
Yeah, him and someone else. And he scored against...
Not on debut.
On debut. Against his home
Oh,
country.
hang on, it was the guy that can't stop scoring. As this is loose and out of court. Is it Will Jordan? No, who was it then?
Sitiveni Silva against Fiji, 96-0.
4 tries.
4 tries on debut against his home country.
I wouldn't have thought it was that I thought it was someone more recent than Sirivatu. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll have a look. I'll have to have a look. And as Tweedy takes it, and Hayden Dowles with a legal use of hands will go and sit in the penalty box. 47-25. Yeah, I knew it was Jeff Olsen with 4 against Scotland on debut. Yeah.
Okay, most tries by any player in Super Rugby. It's most recent.
No.
You don't know? He's a Chiefs player.
Well, that's the problem. You're
Chiefs,
technically
no longer with us now.
You're technically talking about a talking to a Blues supporter, actually.
Oh, true.
Technically.
So it was Sean Whiteley.
Yeah, I was just gonna. As soon as you said no longer with us, I was like, yeah, I can't think of his name, but I know who it is. Yeah.
5 tries against the Waratahs.
48-25. 13 seconds left. There's an intercept here by Tweedy. And Tweedy will bring the Miners one short of the 50. Simpson finds Barry with 11 seconds left on the clock. Manages to toss it down to Dales. And Dales scores with 0.7 of the second on the clock. 49-26. And that will end the third period. It's the Australian Miners 49 leading New Zealand Development 26. Back in 2.
Next goal wins this. Such a good movie.
Next Goal Wins is a very good movie. Came out a couple of years ago. If you haven't seen it, please do. It is an absolute riot. Hayden Dowles though with ball, and he sneaks around on that right corner, but Simpson makes it for him. (49-27). Yeah, it's about the American Samoans trying to come back from that. I think it was 42-0 in a World Cup qualifier against Australia, which is still the international record for the most goals in an international. Tossed up, and it might be out of court. No, Hayden Dowles does brilliantly holding on to that. Manages to turn it over. Here's Mitch Simpson. Oh, 8-second violation. Some great pressure on defence there from Cooper Blackwood, just showing the range he has. And another turnover. And if you actually wanted to see a more recent sports movie that made me absolutely wet myself, because I found it hilarious, was Happy Gilmore 2. Happy Gilmore 2 is brilliant. Almost as good as the original. Almost. It's loose here from Blackwood. Is he going to get it? No, he doesn't. Not on the line. A bit unlucky. Yeah, I watched that the day after it came out.
Yeah,
with expectations it might not be as good. But no, it was... Yeah. And the amount of golfing throwbacks, and throwbacks to the original movie as well, 30 years later. As Hayden Dowles gets it before the baseline. Stopped by Martin Page. Blackwood in there defending. Down to Michael Berry. It's going to bounce out of court. And what's really funny is that I was talking to my partner about John Daly. This is towards the end of the movie. Yeah. And she goes, who's John Daly? And I said, oh, like, he's well known for the pants that he wore. He goes, so I showed her a picture and she goes, that's the drunk uncle that was, I didn't even realise that was John Daly.
You didn't?
No, I didn't see it. I know who John Daly was, but didn't realise that was the uncle.
Yeah. All in all, it was like freaking Listerine.
Yeah, Good try there by Albie Everett.
Sound like hit alcohol in the TV remote.
Yep, had alcohol. No, I didn't see that. The 50 comes up for the minors.
This one was like, calculated the school fees, it was like...
Yeah, it wasn't a small part of the movie, yeah. As Michael Barry bounces up for him. And scores. Of course, my partner's favourite casting choice, and there was Malcolm Marshall, no. Marshall Mathers.
Yeah,
51-28. As old Delves goes for a good skid right there, and I actually was too busy looking somewhere else.
Me too, but I managed to get him. I get the whole thing. I managed to get the whole thing.
We might have a chance to have a look at that replay. I don't often get a chance to flick replays on wheelchair rugby just because of how fast it is, but let's have a look. Going from a try. Dowds is there in the middle of screen there. It's a nice flick over the back, and then Delves just came in, and oh boy.
Yeah, it was zoomed in.
Yeah. I was actually waiting for it. I trusted you and said you had made it. Yeah. But yeah, he was fair flying.
Yeah, it was just straight on his way.
I think he just caught a bit of the Aussie cheer on his way through. As Blackwood will score.
Because when he said Marshall Mathers, I was like, Marshall Mathers, I know who that is.
If you don't know who Marshall Mathers is, who I quite wrongly call him Malcolm Marshall, which is a former West Indian cricketer. Eminem is his stage name, the rapper. 52-28. There with Delves. Hayden Delves gets around Billette. Tell you what, Billette gave that a good push at the last minute there and didn't miss him by much. But Hayden Delves, who's actually yet to be classified, but is in the process, it's out of court from Michael Barry. So we'll stay with the Australians. If you're looking for a good sports documentary to watch, you've got two choices with wheelchair rugby. You've got Murderball, which came out in 2004, which was a Academy Award nominated movie. It was based on the, as Blackwood long ball down, Lambert giving chase, so is Delves, and Lambert's going to win it, which is about the the US and Canadian teams preparing to go to the Athens Paralympics. Best part of that doco, I reckon, is Simpson and Barry fighting for it. It'll be jump ball. Good definition of jump ball, that one. Now, preparing for the Athens Olympics, and Elroy, the best part of that documentary is at the end, before the credits, it says Canada beat the US in the semi-final, but then went on to lose the final to 6th ranked New Zealand. New Zealand's only Paralympic gold medal in wheelchair rugby. And the other one is Wheel Black's Bodies on the Line. A similar setup, done by Sweet Productions, who is helped run by Joe Waite, who was part of that 04 team, as Blackwood winding up. And in 8 seconds, no try. Clavian Morto not happy. Good to have Sonia Itmus tuning in, as well as Michelle Everett and David Pincus. Yeah, that Wheel Black's Bodies on the Line is about the, Wheel Blacks preparing to qualify, who didn't actually qualify in the end, for the 2024 Paralympics in Paris. Oh, great punch there by Rhiannon Everett. Billette, when I find my words. And it's 54-29. Good fight there being shown by Blackwood. Nice teamwork there from Simpson, Lloyd and Delves. And Alexander finishes things off with a good bump. And Delft scores another, 54-30. 4:50 to play. Reminder, you can watch these games back often as you like. They'll be uploaded to Bev's Broadcasting YouTube channel in a few days. There'll also be highlights and bloopers, as well as some photos posted to Bev's Broadcasting official Facebook page in due course. Haven't decided what I'm doing on this coming Saturday. This ball loose there from Delves and out of court. Just couldn't quite pull it in on the top of the wheel, on top of the tyre there. Bev's Broadcasting set up almost 7 years ago now to help achieve my dream of commentating sport, which I've been able to do now for a while. There's a timeout called by Mike Todd. Great time. I can now more talk about what I was gonna say. Yeah, I went to the 2018. No, you're not tall enough, mate. Sorry. 2018 World Championships in Sydney. Saw what the setup they had for the Worlds, and it was great. And I thought, well, why not set up my own live streaming company to help me stream.
Yeah.
I've done sports like wheelchair rugby, rugby union, rugby league, cricket, goalball, a few others, hockey, basketball, roller derby when I first ever started. Only the once though, unfortunately. I've done everything from junior sport all the way up to Super Rugby pre-season games, and everything in between. If you live in the Upper North Island, Auckland, Waikato, Bay of Plenty, get in touch with me. I normally don't charge a lot. I do this for the enjoyment, because the other part of it is that also help give sports that don't get mainstream exposure out there as well. Tech foul, Jamie, tech foul them. Bit of chuckle going on between the Australian minors and the Aussie referee. Good to see everyone still smiling at the end of a long 4 days that we've had. Big thanks to the Christchurch City Council for hosting us. Great ball there to Alexander. Some more composure. You just see them gelling a bit together here, the New Zealand development team. One of the biggest issues we have in the sport is money, as Delves turns it over. Bunting, as Johnson goes over. It's a holding foul as well. Do you understand why that was a holding foul? Because he tried to stop himself from falling over.
So, Bevin, you know about Fiji's gold medals?
Yep, the two gold medals that they've won in the sevens.
The one in 2016 isn't the first medal that you've ever won in any Olympic Games?
No, it was the first gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't the first. I couldn't tell you what the first medal was. But
so the first medal that was won by Fiji was actually in the Paralympics in high jump.
In high jump, okay.
High jump, yeah.
Hey, I love myself a bit of track and field. The one event I did not like doing was high jump. I've got no coordination in my left feet. As Mitch Simpson scores another.
And the guy that won gold.
Yeah.
They put him on the 50-cent coin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And after they won the gold medal for the sevens, the Fiji government created a $7 note.
Well, I know Ben Ryan was given an island and
he was given
the Fijian coach at the time.
He's got his name. He got a chief title.
Yeah, I was just thinking he got a chieftain title. Yeah. The English coach that was in charge of the Fiji team for years, including that 2016 gold.
That 2016 team was stacked.
It was a very good team. The New Zealand team was just as good, but just didn't work.
Yeah.
It was Lambert And then to the actual rugby. There with Blackwood tied up. Actually, over an Australian gold medalist that needs to be talked about too. Lambert. And Lambert scores. If you want to hear the craziest gold medal ever won, look up Stephen Bradbury, a speed skater. The greatest gold medal ever won.
How did he win it?
His strategy coming into the final race, and there was more to this beforehand, was to sit at the back of the race because he was older than his competitors and slower, and hope his opponents fell over. And that's exactly how he won the gold medal. As I said, there's more backstory to that. And then he stood. Turn over here for the New Zealand development side. And Alexander scores 57-33. But that was literally his strategy in the final. Oh, turnover again from Alexander. A juggle from Lambert. And New Zealand goes bang bang, 57-34, 2:50 left. Ball down from Lambert to Cooper Blackwood. Just had to take a moment. It's not as though I didn't realise who was scoring that try. He's been scoring tries all weekend. As Delves comes in and gets over half, does Hayden Delves. With 57-35 is timeout called by the Aussies. Lambert over to Tweedy as Delves goes over. Helps himself back up on his wheels though. Well, the thing is, it was actually Southern Hemisphere's first ever gold medal at the Winter Olympics. The first medal was the one in 1996 by a New Zealand skier. I can't think of your name off the top of my head. 58-35. Just over 2 to play in this game to finish the weekend off. As Hayden Delves adds another to his tally. Big pressure up high for the Aussie development, but again they keep true, and Blackwood score number 60. It's 70-41 in the first match. So similar scoring here as Lloyd drops it, big pongs around, and it's there with Blackwood. As Hayden Delves calls inbound as he was tied up. Keenan moving through, and from Thames down to Delves, tracing through on the inside. 61-37. Down to Blackwood. Blackwood, no problem on the line. Definitely seen some good skills here being shown. Here's Dylan Lloyd calling the inbound. 1 minute 11 left in this match. There with Alexander. Simpson, 0.5 Hayling. Troubles ringing that in. It was actually reclassified from a 1-pointer to a 0.5 at the World Wheelchair Rugby Challenge in Adelaide, as we've got an equipment timeout. 62-37. The Australians saying, go to the key. 48 seconds left. Annalise Coburger was the downhill skier that scored that got a silver medal for New Zealand at the Winter Olympics. As Delve scores another 62-38. Yeah, Southern Hemisphere's first ever medal was at the 92 games. 94, sorry. There's Blackwood tying up. As Lloyd tips it out. Some good D there from Dylan Lloyd. And a chance the New Zealand side to reset on defence with only 33 seconds left. Blackwood over to Tweedy, and Tweedy scores 64-38 as the New Zealand development call a timeout. So they can propel the ball up to the front court past the, penalty box zone. There with Delves. Delves works around Molto. Blackwood there as he's been all weekend. Over to Alexander and it's out of court. The Aussies still in full voice. And it's been an end of a very long 4 days. Typical Australians though, never give die. No matter how far behind or in front they are. 11.4 left. Tweedy to Blackwood as they count down, 7 seconds left. Across to Delves, Delves keeps it in. Falcon from Lambert, who will finish it off with 0.5 of a second. 65-38. As Blackwood has it. And that is the end of a great 4 days of wheelchair rugby, mutable, quad rugby, whatever you want to call it. The Australian miners 65. What a way to finish it. The old Aussie chant. They've won 65-38 against New Zealand development. It's been a great 4 days of rugby. Big thanks to Elroy for your help in that last game, mate. Made it a bit easier. Big thanks to the referees, the bench volunteers, and all those others that have put it together. Christchurch City Council, the people who have worked at the two venues, Pioneer Stadium over the weekend, Cowells Stadium today. Big thanks to everyone tuned in as well, folks. There's no point of doing a live stream if nobody watches, so it is greatly appreciated. Please take care out there, folks. Look after yourselves. Please look after your mental health. Hei kona.